Well, if you see a lot of activity behind me, that's largely because I am in Japan today and we are here for a very important car. It's the all-new Honda BRV, which the company is going to bring into India around April next year. Now, what is this car all about? Well, essentially, it is a rival to the Ford EcoSport as well as the Hyundai Creta. And how good is it? Well, we are going to find that out today. One advantage that it has over both those cars, of course, is the fact that it is a 7-seater and not a 5-seater like the Creta as well as the EcoSport. The BRV shares its platform with the Mobilio as well as the Honda Amaze. But it looks a lot more different as well as premium from those other cars. And that's largely because Honda have given it a very premium look. That sculpted bumper along with the squarish headlamps and all that chrome in the grille really does make this car stand out from the sea of compact SUVs in the market. When you view this car from side profile, it is visibly longer than its main rival, the Hyundai Creta. But it is the rear of the BRV which really does stand out. With those muscular looking tail lamps as well as the high mounted number plate, this car really does look like a miniature version of the CRV. Overall, it's a design which is posh, upmarket and very charming. Well, so here I'm inside the new Honda BRV, and this of course is the Indonesian spec. This is not the Indian spec according to Honda. So this car comes with an all black cabin, but Indian cars could get a beige just like the Honda Jazz. And speaking of the Jazz, this cabin, this dashboard reminds you exactly of the Jazz because it is very similar to that one. The dials are exactly the same. The AC vents are very similar. The only difference of course is around the AC controls and of course the stereo system. And that said, quality levels are very good and as good as its main rival, the Hyundai Creta, and definitely better than the Ford EcoSport. And the seats themselves are very good in terms of comfort. The squab is both long as well as wide, and there's also decent bolstering on the sides, which means that if you are someone who enjoys pushing this car into corners, you will really be sitting in these seats very snugly. Well, it's also a pretty practical place to be in. You get these two big bottle holders right ahead of the gear lever. There's also a big tray where you can keep your wallet or your car key. Well, so here I'm in the back seat of the new Honda BRV, and as you can see, legroom is pretty generous, and I have pushed these seats almost all the way back, and even then I have place where I can stretch my feet at. Headroom is generous as well, and to enhance luxury and comfort even further, you also get your own AC vents at the back. Well, so here I am in the last row of the new BRV seats, and as you can see, headroom is pretty decent considering my height is 5'10" for reference, and kneeroom is surprisingly adequate considering that this isn't a very long car. It's a little over 4 meters in length, so considering that fact, legroom is pretty decent and you can house two people over here, two people can sit. But of course these seats are best left for small kids rather than tall adults, but even then decent place, which makes it a proper 7-seater. With the last row of seats up, there's very little space to keep your luggage in, but being a Honda, this cabin is huge on flexibility. You can fold the rear seats down, you can tumble them, and you can also tumble the middle row and stow it away. All this means that you have plenty of space inside the BRV's practical and usable cabin for those long highway trips. Well, so here I am driving the new Honda BRV. Well, this car, remember, will come with a 1.5 petrol engine, and that engine will develop about 118 bhp of power as well as 145 Nm of torque. You get two gearboxes to choose from, and you of course get the regular manual gearbox as well as a CVT automatic. Well, plus points on this car of course include the fact that the petrol engine is very good in terms of responsiveness, and it's a very refined motor as well. And we are driving the CVT gearbox at the moment, and this CVT gearbox feels very similar to the one on the Honda Jazz, which makes this car a good car for those small city trips. Well, it's difficult to tell what this car will be on the road and how good its performance will be in terms of ride and handling, but the couple of laps we've had on the track have revealed that the steering wheel is pretty responsive, and even though it is a little light when you are maneuvering it around the tight bends, it does offer decent feedback, which makes it a good car for keen drivers. Well, this engine does feel pretty responsive, and it's also a very peppy motor. It's a VTEC motor at the end of the day, remember, so that makes it pretty good in terms of overall performance as well as handling. Well, overall, the new BRV comes across as a very strong package. It offers you the tried and tested 1.5-litre petrol engine, the convenience of a CVT automatic, as well as the space to seat 7 passengers. All that, of course, with the Honda brand name makes this a very desirable car at the end of the day. And even though this isn't the Indian version we've driven today, it is impressive nonetheless.